If you're looking to get out of your 9-to-5 job and quit the daily grind or retire early or just have a better, bigger retirement, we are going to show you a great method to do that. It's called the BRRRR strategy.
It's so super powerful because most people think that they got to put 20% down on every property that they buy, and they run out of cash after like 1 or 2 properties. This is a powerful method that has helped me grow from buying my first rental to owning 150 without having to put any of my own money into it. And what did you do, Sam?
In the last 5 years, we went from 0 to over 100 using this method on every single one. $0 out of our own pocket.
Can you imagine that? No money out of pocket and own 150 houses or 106 houses in 5 years?
In 5 years. And it's repeatable. You can do it over and over and over.
We're going to show you how to do it.
Hey, I'm Sam.
I'm Brian. The BRRRR methods.
BRRRR.
Buying a house, rehabbing it, renting the house, refinancing it, and repeating it. All right, we're going to talk about buy, the B of the BRRRR method here real quick. It all starts out with buying the house at a discount. The whole key to this BRRRR method is when you're buying houses, you can't pay retail.
We have a formula that we use to buy houses. We take the ARV, which is the after repair value of the house, we times it by 75% and we minus out the repairs. That gives us our discounted enough price where we can either rehab it and sell it if we need to, or rehab it and refinance it and rent it. Either way, that kind of gives you the options. You're not pigeonholed to one exit strategy. We like to at least have 2 exit strategies when we buy houses.
So where do you get deals where you can buy them from a discount? Well, there's a whole bunch of different sources out there. I'll name just a couple of them here to get you ideas, but we'll have other videos on the buy process here, like this one up here. A house that's in foreclosure. A lot of people, times you can buy a house at a discount from a bank that's in foreclosure or from the courthouse steps or something like that. All right, guys, another way to buy houses at a discount is just really network in with wholesalers. So if you don't know what a wholesaler is, these guys are out there, they're kind of like born sales guys, and they love to chase the deal. They love to find that next deal. And they're marketing directly to homeowners or directly to banks or buying at the courthouse steps. They're doing whatever they're doing, but they love the deal. But they don't want to rehab it, and they don't want to be a landlord. They just want to make quick $2, $3, $5, maybe $10,000, somewhere in that range usually. Either assign that contract to somebody else or do a double close. So they're in and out quick. They need landlords or rehabbers to buy from them. So if you can build some relationships with some good wholesalers in your area, that's a fantastic method. So where do you find wholesalers? A lot of the local RIAs, the meetups, that's a great place to find wholesalers. Also just like type into Google, we buy houses in your area. So I'm in St. Charles, Missouri. So we buy houses in St. Charles. That works great. I'm gonna find a lot of the best wholesalers in the St. Charles area. You guys have probably seen bandit signs before. Those signs that are out at intersections that say we buy houses on them. Most of those guys out there doing that are wholesalers. So call the bandit sign and say, I buy houses. You guys need somebody to sell your house to? I'm that guy for you.
So that's a way to do it through wholesalers. That's the easier way to do it, and that's the way a lot of people do it. There is another way, direct to seller. You can go online and market on AdWords or on Facebook, or a lot of different ways you can pay to market, but that creates a strategy. And if this is not your full-time job, honestly, it makes more sense probably just to go to the wholesaler. You pay a little bit more.
Wholesaler's the easy button.
Easy button, and you pay a little more, but you get it back with the refinance part of the R. You get the money back. Just look at it as part of your rehab, basically.
Where do I get the money to buy it? Number one, and the most popular one, hard money lender. Typically, if you know what you're doing, a hard money lender will fund you 100% of the purchase price, and they may even fund you 100% of the rehab to get the deal done. So if that's the case, super easy, super clean, just use a hard money lender. Rates are a little bit higher on that, but quite often it's really worth it because you're building the portfolio. You're only using that money for a very short amount of time. But other options are, if you got a line of credit on your house, like a home equity line of credit on your house, you could use that.
Another way to do it is through private money, just friends, family. There's lots of people you probably know that invest in the stock market, have extra money, that wouldn't mind diversifying their portfolio a little bit and getting a pretty guaranteed return. The whole idea is no money out of pocket, and you can do a combination, get creative. You can use a hard money lender to buy the property, and then you can use a private lender for just the rehab if they're willing to do that. They're a little not as secured, but some are willing to do that. Or you can do you can get a home equity line of credit and just use that. There's a lot of different ways you can kind of mix and match your different sources, but either way, you can and we think you should do it with as little to no money out of pocket as you can.
Those are just a couple ways you can buy them. There's a whole bunch of others, but that'll give you a starting point.
Alrighty, so click on this link up here to see a much more detailed video on how to buy. There's formulas you need to use. There's certain different analytics you can use to make sure the property is going to cash flow after you buy it. There's a lot that goes into just buying it. The biggest thing is buying at a discount, but you want to know what it's going to look like at the end. This video will explain a lot of that.
If you guys are watching this, comment below, what's your favorite way to finance your deals? And what's your favorite way to buy your deals?
So in order to buy the property at a discount, it is most likely going to need some work done to it. It's going to need to be rehabbed. It's really important to check the big items, check the roof, the systems, the bathroom, the kitchen, every big item that could potentially be a big cost down the line. Because once you give this house to a renter, you're not going to want to have to go in every month or every couple months and fix a big item or fix a small item or really do anything. You're going to want it to be pretty much maintenance free. So it's really important to get the house properly rehabbed.
Typically we're putting $15,000 to $25,000, $30,000 into our houses.
And yeah, in our area, typical rehab is going to be exactly how you described it. It's going to be that surface cosmetic rehab. So you don't want to be getting into walls and moving stuff and doing
gut rehabs.
But you just get into too much when you do that. So just kind of the quick $15,000 to $25,000 surface rehabs, get everything bulletproof, tenant proof. Make it to where you're going to have the minimal amount of maintenance, but you also want to get the highest appraisal.
Yeah.
The refinance R, which we keep referring to, the bank's going to appraise the property, and you want it to appraise for as much as possible so you can make sure you get your money back or as most of the money back as you can. So you're going to want to make things nice. Tenants have options. They go online, they can look at 20 houses in a half an hour, pictures online. So you want yours to stick out a little bit, right? I mean, you don't need to do marble countertops on a $750 rental, but you want to make everything nice or a little bit nicer than the competition, just so you kind of set yourself apart, get the highest appraisal, get the best tenant, the least maintenance. This R kind of really sets you up for the long-term future. A really big factor in this is the rehab or the refinance part. Brian's going to talk in a minute about refinancing, and in order to get the proper refinance, you need to get a high appraisal. And if you get a high appraisal, you need to rehab it. So if you rehab the house and make everything look really nice, you'll get a higher appraisal. This video right here, guys, we're going to go into a lot more detail on how to rehab to make a good rental.
The next R in the BRRRR method is to rent the house out. The key is to find a good long-term tenant, somebody that'll stay there a while. The longer they stay there, the better. The biggest cost in owning houses long-term is turnover. So trying to find a good tenant that'll stay there a long time is awesome. There's so many ways to find good tenants. But technology has really changed the game over the last several years.
Primarily, we throw it on Zillow. We use a service called ShowMojo. There's another one very similar out there called Tenant Turner. Once we put a house on ShowMojo, it's like everywhere on the internet. You can do the same thing through Zillow or a lot of other places, but bottom line is you want it to get it out there in the internet world.
ShowMojo gets it on Zillow and all the sites. You can do specifically Zillow and just go there, which is probably where 80% of the tenants come anyway. But if you use a service like ShowMojo or Tenant Turner or other ones, they will blast it out through every site, and they have a little vetting process they go through and just kind of make sure that they're not just letting anybody into your property.
Some people like to meet all their tenants. Some people don't want to show their vacant houses without being there, so some people like to meet them. Totally up to you. Many different ways to do it. Then once you get somebody that's interested in your property, you got to screen them well. A few key things with screening is we run credit. I don't rely on that heavily. In some of the areas where we have some of our houses, there's just not a ton of people that have really good credit. We're really looking for, do they make at least 3 times the amount of rent? Making sure that they have enough income to pay the rent. Get a good landlord reference from their previous place that they were living. Make sure that they paid that landlord well and that they took care of the property. There's a whole list of other things, but honestly, those are kind of the bigger picture ones. Another one that we do is we do a home visit before, once they kind of pass the qualifications, me or somebody else on our team goes over and signs up the lease in the house that they're currently living in. So that way we can see how they're taking care of the house that they were living in before. If they've really trashed that house, obviously we just say, I'm sorry, this isn't going to work. It's part of our tenant screening. It honestly doesn't happen that often. A lot of people kind of screen themselves out at that point. If their house is in bad shape, they don't want us coming over there, so it's kind of a screening process also.
For the new guy, almost every city has a tenant screening service in that city, and maybe there's even some nationwide ones too. I don't know, but there's a Cozy? Okay,
Cozy is the
that's
local one that's free. Yeah.
Okay. Is that a local one?
Oh, it's what a lot of local people use, and it's free. I know that for a while.
Yeah. So there's a lot of tenant screening softwares out there. We'll look some up and throw them in the show notes for you.
Yep.
Go to Zillow and see what they think the rent should be. We also have all of our houses kind of in the same general area, and we got quite a few houses. So by experience, we kind of know what rent should be. But those are probably the two biggest ones. I know a lot of people use a Renometer too. So those are a couple of sources. If it sits for too long, just lower the price a little bit.
Yep.
If you rented a couple of houses and they go like super quick, you're probably a little low. So over time, just keep raising your rent.
Just be aware of what the market can bring. So if you guys have any questions, any of the technology we're talking about, Show Mojo or anything like that, there will be links in the comments to those companies and those websites. And so the next R we're going to talk about is refinance.
Well, the refinance R is you already own the house, you've already spruced it up, it already looks great, you already have a tenant in it, and you own it, So at that point, you got a house that you own, you're just going to a bank and refinancing it, just like you would if your own personal house. You can always refinance that whenever you want to. That's the key to this process is you already own the house, you're just refinancing it. Typically, they're going to send out an appraiser. That bank will loan up to usually 75 to 80% of whatever that appraisal is. That's the primary requirement that the bank's looking for. Now, they may look at some cash flow, things along those lines of stuff too, but the primary thing is they just want to know that they have equity in the property.
Yep. And quick thing to note: the big national banks won't do this. They're just getting all their money on deposits and CDs and that, and the big regional banks won't do this, but local banks in every market will do this. There's portfolio lending banks that will do this.
Yeah, that's here in the St. Louis area, I think our favorite is the local banks because we build relationships with them and they make it super easy. And if you're doing it over and over again,
there's a lot of ways to do all this. We're just kind of explaining the way that we do it and the best luck. So another type of loan you can do if you're going to do the loan in your personal name is a traditional Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac loan where you go out to 30 years at a fixed rate. That is a great way to do it. You only can do 10 though in your personal name. We do everything in our LLC just because we like to keep everything neat and tidy in there. We have everything in 20 to 25 years, but it is a great option. A lot of people will go 30 years out, fixed rate. Your cash flow is really, really great if you do that type of loan.
A 25-year amortization versus a 15 is going to get you more cash now. Your payment's going to be less now. It's going to take you longer to pay it off if you don't pay any extra.
You're paying less principal down.
Right. So some people like to get like a 15-year am because they want to get that house paid off really quick. What I tell people is take the 25-year am. That way you have a less of a payment, but if you have extra money that month, you can always pay extra. But if you get that 15-year am and you're a little short that month, you can't pay less than what the mortgage says, other banks get mad at that.
Yeah, they don't like that. So check out this video. We're going to go into a lot more detail about the refinance process and how you can really make it impactful and really help create cash flow. So the next R we're going to talk about, I know I said they're all my favorite, but this one is actually my favorite, is repeat.
Why is this so much your favorite?
Because you can do this as many times as you want. If you want to own 5 properties, by the time you're 50 and have them all paid off, you can do it 5 times. If you want to do it 25 times in 1 year, you can. This really lets you leverage the power of real estate. You do it, you'll learn it, you'll get better at it. You can repeat it as many times as you want or as many times as the bank will allow you to.
How many times did you do it, Sam?
I have done it over 100 times now in the last 5 years.
That's a lot.
How many times have you done it, Brian?
I think I did it about 150 times.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
It's very cool. It's very cool.
I love this method. It's how you can, a lot of people think it takes years and years and years to build up a portfolio of rental houses. Using this process, going through the process, just creating a system, you're going to build relationships along the way. So the first time or two you go through it, it takes a little time because you're building relationships, you're meeting new people, you're doing new things. But once you get it down, it becomes pretty repeatable and you can do it over and over again. There were a couple years that I bought like 40 or so houses, maybe even 50 houses in a single year. How many did you buy in a year?
Last year we ended up adding 63 doors.
Sam always outdoes me.
And click on this video link to see an example of a property package. We did 27 houses at once in the Burr method.
And you got all your money back?
Got all our money back. We actually ended up making a little bit of money.
That's impressive.
Tax-free money. So check out this video up here. We're going to really go into the power of real estate and what it can do for creating a long-term legacy with you in more detail.
So I started using the Burr method in 2004. Been doing it ever since. We did it 150 times. Built our portfolio up to the size that we wanted. But you know, it's so funny. This is what, 15 years later. Sometimes I probably have the cash to just buy a house cash, but it's so much fun to do the Burr method that I still don't pay cash for them. I buy it, put a loan on it, spruce it up, go to a bank, get all my money back, because I just like to do it that way.
And you have a lot of cash, but you don't have enough cash to buy 150 houses outright.
Well, I definitely didn't when I started. I have enough to do one when I started.
Exactly. So this is a really, really powerful way that you can create your legacy, create your long-term generational wealth through single-family house.
And have a lot of fun.
So Brian started, like you just said, in 2004. I started 10 years later in 2014, and I'm still doing it now.
So what that means is this worked in 2004, it worked in 2014.
It works in 2019 and 2020.
You did one this year?
I have done one this year.
I did one this year too.
Nice.
Still works.
All right, so below in the comments, comment on how many deals you've done through the Burr method, or how many deals you're planning on doing this year, 2020, with the Burr method. So if you want to hear about it and learn about our videos, hit the subscribe below and hit the notification bell up top so you get notified every time we release a video.